Hi, it's William. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to try to replicate this kind of cross-hatching effects, and we're going to achieve that in Blender. Okay, so as you guys may already know that I just recently started learning art, and when I try to teach myself art, I try to learn from the best, learn from the histories, the most famous and the brilliant artists. And one day I just come across a concept called cross hatching. So basically, I used this. I think it's this image, this drawing. In fact, it's not a drawing technique. It's like engraving print. So basically, they just engrave that in a certain certain device and then print them multiple times. And they use a specific technique called cross hatching. This drawing by or engraved print, by the way, is called a shepherd by a tree. Cross hatched is an Italian Renaissance engraving print, and right now I think it's alive in British Museum in London. Okay, it's a really interesting print, and it's kind of a captivated. And I'm captivated by this the line art, because I also trying to teach myself art traditionally. So when I learn the traditional arts, my line is not so good. So I'm trying to maybe tackle this problem, just experiment a little bit by walk around rather than just use line art, but use the help of say grease pencil, or maybe add some node and map some to our model, and then add a stylized line art. Okay, it's just some experiment. And if you look at this, by the way, let me just zoom in. Okay, so this part is really interesting. So the cross hatching, especially here, let me just zoom it in. Okay, so basically the line got really interesting. We got some of the horizontal line, but some things is called cross hatching. Got horizontal line and got this like a vertical line. So you got it really cross together. Once you got it crossed, you can add a little bit depth to this drawing or to this printing. Okay, so let me just show you. Okay, the shepherds like this do cast a little bit shadow, and the artists at that time, at the Renaissance time, using this cross hatching technique to adding a little bit depth, volume, as well as shadow to this image. And I think, yeah, why not borrow from the greatest artist? And the thing is, this is already, I think it's finished at like 15th century. I don't know, maybe just 400 years ago. 500 years ago, I think. Yeah. So I think it's yeah, fair to say it's in public domain, and so I think, yeah, we can borrow and we can relive this, make this technique as well as the image back to life by yeah, it's not completely replicate that, but rather just to focus on small parts that I think interesting, and using that as a kind of texture. Okay, and use that in our Blender. Okay, so let's do this. So we have to find a specific texture that I think is be helpful for me to do. So what I'm going to do is unlock this layer and duplicate that. Okay, right now I think I'm going to duplicate that, and let's hide it, and we can cut using the cut to cut out the texture that I think is interesting. Of course, you can just change that to maybe just a few pixels, maybe 100. Okay, so 100 to 100 pixels. So it's yeah, a little bit smaller. Okay, right now it's not good, so we have to click and drag that to place that at a place that we want. Okay, so right now I think I maybe need to zoom it a little bit, maybe make it even bigger. Okay, right now I think it's definitely too small, so maybe just let me just double that, 200 to 200. Okay, Alright, so we got 200, 200, zoom in a little bit, and let's click and drag. So you can just to get a specific places that I think is best for the cross hatching. Okay, so good. So if I apply that, I got a specific like a texture. You don't even need this texture to be like a seamless texture. You just need to like borrow this pattern that done by the greatest artists of all time. Okay, and maybe it's not great, it's just great artists. Okay, I'm not saying that their work is not great, but yeah, they're great, so we're going to borrow that. Okay, yeah, once we got that, let me just export that as a texture. Alright, once I export that as a PNG file, I think it's pretty safe to open a new Blender file so we can play around. Okay, so first of all, of course, we are going to delete the cube, and then we're going to add. Let's add a monkey, so we got a different surface and we got decent geometry to work with. You can adjust the size, location, alignment, generalize UV map, something like that. You can do all sort of thing. Right now, since I'm dealing with like the shading part, so I'm not too worried about this. So just yeah, sometimes it's really annoying how to like click and drag this out. Okay, I got it. And then let me just get the shader editor. Okay, and let's do this. So right now it's just a Principled BSDF. Okay, let me just get my screencast key ready so you guys can see it more clearly. Alright, and I'm going to go for a rendered mode so you guys can see it even more clearly. Right now the light is not good enough, so I'm going to make it maybe sun. Okay, the strength, yeah, pretty good. Let me just to grab this sun down a bit. So grab this sun down and make it maybe a bit front, rotate. Okay, so get a really decent lighting here. Maybe that's too much. Decrease that to 100, maybe 50, maybe just 10, or maybe just 1. Okay. Right. So maybe this. We will adjust that later. Okay. And then yeah, that's not really important. The important thing is that we're going to adding the texture here. So instead of Principled BSDF, let me just delete that. So what I'm thinking is that maybe adding a image texture to here. So yeah, let's try this. And for it to work, we need a diffuse BSDF. So I'm going to search diffuse BSDF because we already deleted the Principled BSDF. We have to add something in order for it to work. And I'm going to add a shader to RGB converter here, right? And let's add a mix RGB node before the final output. So mix RGB. Yeah, we don't got the mix RGB node, so okay, I think that would be a legacy. So maybe just a mix, or just mix color. Okay, I think it maybe mix color we do. Basically, we just want to plug in two things and we're going to mix it up using a factor to adjust this. Okay, and finger crossed. Here is the magic, where the magic happens. Diffuse to shader to RGB, and we got this color output to plug that into the upper node, and the downward node will be the image texture that we just got. That we mixed up, we got the result, and we plug that to the surface. Okay, let's see the result. Yeah, you might think that it's not working, but in fact it's working. It's just yeah, it bugged me a little bit. But if you just go back, you can see that we got a really thick line here. Okay, so that will be our hatching, and maybe the front is the sun is just too much. Okay, so you won't be able to see it. Okay, this way you can, yeah, pretty much see everything. Okay, but that's clearly not good, so I'm going to change that. So Control T, just got a little bit wrangling and mapping to do, so I'm going to increase the size, maybe just to 5. Okay, just increase that everything to 5. So get something like this. Let's go to the rendered view just to check the results. Okay, and maybe we need to rotate as well. Okay, we can rotate here, rotate here, and rotate, yeah. Yeah, maybe the light's too much. Okay, let's just decrease that to 1. Okay, and I think maybe the hatching is not the problem. Yeah, maybe the problem does not lies at the light, but rather I think part of the light was the light, but the other part lie with the hatching. Let me use a different render cycle maybe, so I can render this. Maybe just EV. So the result is not good. Okay, let me just decrease. So got like a hatching like this. Still, it doesn't not give you a really good result. Okay, even though you change that to say a cycle, you still do not have a really good result. Okay, maybe that's because of the node. Let's look at node as well. So maybe the mixture is not good. Okay, let's change the factor a little bit. So yeah, I have to increase the factor to a really high number. Okay. But if you completely like ignore this diffuse, you won't be able to see these results better. So that's yeah, that's really depends. Okay, I think that's pretty good, and I'm using cycle, which is a good sign. Okay, let me just for the effects, let me just increase that to a really high number, maybe just 0.95. Okay, and I can change that to maybe 5. This hatching is just too much. Yeah, of course you can change the X and Y and Z just to let me just make it everything 0, just see the result. Okay, yeah, definitely not good enough, so maybe adding more nodes to just play around with this. Yeah, I think instead of using the mix, okay, I can decrease the mix, but instead I'm going to add a color ramp. Okay, so basically the color ramp can change the light as well as shadows, like the white black part of your drawing. Okay, so for example, I want it to be more dark. Okay, you can do something like this, and the factor I'm going to decrease that to, I think the default is 0.5, something like that, so half and half mix, and that's definitely too dark, so maybe something like this. Okay, yeah, this looks pretty interesting. Okay, Look at this like the circular effect. Sorry. Okay, let me just mix it up a little bit. Okay, so we get some of the effect like this. Maybe increase that to 20. Let's change that to 20. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. By the way, I'm just an experiment. That is not the final result. It's just me doing experiments. I want to show you guys how I did this. Okay. That's definitely too much. I think this will give you a pretty good result by dragging this right side down. Okay. If you do that, that would be too dark. Okay. This is pretty interesting. What about I just do something like this and increase the yeah, maybe not like that. So in this case, we can't drag it too down. That really depends on the texture that you are using. So yeah, maybe something like this. This is like interesting, but it's not like cross hatching. It's more like a dotted sort of thing. Let me just change that to Eevee. And change. Yeah, this looks promising. So I think Eevee give me a more stylish result than Psycho. Okay. If I reverse this, that would be not so good. Okay, so I think I'm going with Eevee. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And I can change the mixture of the. Yeah, if I just decrease that, it will just become diffuse BSDN. Increase that, it will completely be the texture. So you have to find this the point that you think is good enough. Okay. You don't want it to be too much to the diffuse, or else it will be like a hard surface or something. Okay, pretty good. And of course, you can decrease. Just play around with the line. Okay, just to play around and see which suits you the best. Maybe 30. Let me just go crazy to 30. Okay. Yeah, pretty interesting. It's like when you saw a drawing on a newspaper or something like that. Okay. Yeah, this do give you a very interesting look. Yeah, right now it's okay, but I think I kind of like lost some of the detail. Okay, because the eyes and nose and mouth and things to be got. So what I'm gonna do is to add an outline, and luckily, I'm also learning Grease Pencil recently, so I'm going to use Grease Pencil to do that. In order to apply the Grease Pencil, so for example, let me just show you. Okay, so Shift and A, we can add a Grease Pencil here. I can add a Grease Pencil. Let's just add a blank. Okay, so just an empty Grease Pencil. Okay, and let me just make a new collection. And that collection will be like the outline collection. Okay, so basically everything inside of this collection will be applied to a Grease Pencil. Okay, so right now I think we can add a modifier to the Grease Pencil. Okay, and I'm going to add in a let's look at this outline. Yeah, I think maybe outline should do. Okay, so basically just just generate just a bunch of outline, and yeah, maybe line out something like that. Let's just check it out. Yeah, maybe not the line, but rather the line art. I think that should do. Okay, so once you add that, you have to select the collection. I'm going to select the outline collection, and you can add specific layer. Right now, let me just choose the grease pencil layer, because the grease pencil do have a lot of layer. So if you want to know more about grease pencil, I also got a like a start from grease pencil from scratch, 100 days of grease pencil, completely for free, and share my journey with you guys. Okay, so you can check that out. And basically, just the grease pencil got a lot of layers here, and you can sort of select a specific layer, and of course you can apply different layers, apply different effects to it. It's really interesting material. Right now I think it's just black material. Okay, and line thickness, yeah, this is really interesting sort of feeling. Okay, I think maybe line thickness is just too much. Just add a little bit of hint. That should do. Alright, so we got our Sudan monkey, like with the grease pencil outline on the monkey. Okay, maybe the line thickness and can be changed to approximately the same as the line art. Okay, and decrease the opacity a little bit. Okay, you don't want it to be too like accentuated, something like that. And the lights, let me change the light a bit. Maybe some point light, spotlight, sun. Where's the sun? Yeah. Strength. Yeah, that can do. Okay. Some of the line like a float. Yeah, let me adjust that as well. Okay, after a little bit of research, I think I just solved this problem by making the line a little bit thin. And of course you can change the color ramp. Okay, I've been playing around with this for a pretty long time. I think it's really interesting. You can adjust the color, and then you can just play around with the places where you should like dark or not. Okay, so give you a really stylized look. Okay, so you've got maybe some, yeah, I think this looks pretty cool. Okay, yeah, you can get all sort of, yeah, this is like a cyberpunk-ish sort of monkey. Okay, and of course you can change the grease pencil as well. So this also works on the modifier, as well as, I think the modifier maybe not so thick, maybe something like this, that should do. And we can also change the blend. You can hard, light, yeah, subtract. Yeah, you can go to all sort of interesting things. So yeah, we do use the the previous artist line, and bring that to a cyberpunk-ish feeling. You can even make it like a dotted. Okay, maybe not texture, maybe not dotted. You can even go squared. Oh my gosh, that's a little bit weird. You don't want it to be feel. Okay, and the base color, you can just color pick some part of it, the color, and just make it like a really stylish, and just dark some part. Okay, or maybe make it bright, so really like cyberpunk-ish, or sort of do that. Okay, that looks pretty interesting. Okay, got a really interesting looking Sudan. Let's just get rid of this right side, or maybe not get rid of this, because we're going to edit this part later. Okay, so for example, I'm going like a translucent. Yeah, that's pretty good. Adding a little bit light to our monkey. So just increase this, but decrease the hatching part. Okay, so get this interesting feeling, and we can then select the line, and we can change the base color to maybe bright, something brighter. Yeah, this give you like a comic sort of feeling, but if you're brighter, it'll give you as if it's like, yeah, maybe this is interesting. Yeah, pretty interesting. Yeah, you can play around with this. Just try out different things and see how it work out. Okay. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all about this video. So basically, a conclusion that we use the greatest Renaissance artist work, use that as texture, okay, as a sort of like a border of their greatest knowledge, and play around with our modeling as well as texturing, and adding the knowledge that we learn about grease pencil, and bring the Sudan monkey back to life. Yeah, just add a little bit interesting. I think all that work in Eevee, not necessarily working in Psycho. Okay, and yeah, I think that's pretty much all. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give the video a thumb up if you think my video is helpful. I got all sort of interesting experiments as well as tutorials, and share my experience with you guys. And if you want to support me, the best way to do is, of course, join the Patreon. Okay, and if you want, any of my work for commercial purpose, even, you can buy that on Gumroad. Okay, bye.